Thank you for joining us today for the authentication tutorial for administrators. This video will explain the various authentication options for users and administrators seeking access to their respective web console interfaces. Let's get started. For users without administrative privileges, the primary means of interacting with the system is through the Spam Quarantine Report, a daily email digest of messages held in quarantine. When users click on links in this report, they are automatically authenticated into their web management console. In many cases, they may never need to manually authenticate. For more information, please refer to the core filtering tutorial for users. If users do need to authenticate manually, like when using message continuity, there are two main setup options. Option 1 is Passwords mode, which allows you and/or your users to manually establish unique console passwords. Option 2 is by establishing a connection with a remote authentication server through LDAP, POP3, or IMAP, so that when users attempt to log in, the authentication server is queried for credentials. Configuring these options is done on the user authentication page here. To use the passwords option, select that authentication type here. You may establish passwords for users one at a time or in batch by uploading a password list. Refer to the online help for information about password strength requirements and upload file formatting. Users can also establish their own passwords via the self-serve password retrieval tool available at the login page here. To use the remote authentication server option, select that desired authentication type here. Let's look at LDAP first. If this authentication method is selected, each user must have a defined user account in Account Management, and the user account must be valid in the local LDAP directory. For information on creating users in Account Management, please refer to the User Creation tutorial for administrators. First, enter the requested information into the fields here. A couple of notes on some of the fields. Under Search Bind DN, designate the bind DN of a user in the LDAP directory that has permission to search and retrieve information about any user. It's a good idea to use a service admin or other account that is exempt from password expiration. The test email can be any account in AD, regardless of privilege. A more detailed description of each field on this page and advanced settings options is available in the online help here. After entering info into the fields, click the Test LDAP button. If the test was successful, the Save button will activate. Click Save. Now your users can log into the console using their domain credentials. Now let's look at POP3 and IMAP. Similar to LDAP, each user must have a defined user account in Account Management, and a successful test transaction must be completed. Once you complete a successful test, the Save button will activate. Click Save. Now your users can log in using their mailhost credentials. This concludes the authentication tutorial for administrators. If you have questions or need additional information, please consult the online help within each page or contact the support team.